Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Community Spotlight. I am your host, Miracle Jones. Thank you so much for taking the time out to learn a little bit about a really, really cool program that's offered right here in Southwestern Pennsylvania. Today, we're going to hear from two organizations that have created a partnership program to make sure that you or one of your loved ones can have a career in the trades and a good job that will allow you to support yourself and your family and invest in your community. We know there's been a lot of conversations about rising inflation, unemployment, and this program is something that will actually benefit you right now, something you can do today to make sure you and your family have a stable living situation. What's really, really cool is Literacy Pittsburgh, along with the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania, has created this trade up program that not only teaches you a career in the trades with some certifications, but also provides you free support for educational support so you can meet the minimum qualifications to enroll with the skill in the trades. And to talk a little bit about what this program, how you can get involved, and how you can have a really amazing career with the trades. What does trade even mean? Please welcome to our program, Ronald Sapp.
Hey, hello. How's everybody doing today?
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sapp, for joining us. We're going to bring in James from Literacy Pittsburgh.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. And last but not least, also with the introduction to the trades program, it is going to be Barnett. We're going to bring her in as well.
Hi, I'm Chaquita Barnett. I'm the program director of the Introduction to the Construction Trades. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for joining us and coming on. I'm just going to start with you, James, and then go to you. Builders Guild. Can you just talk a little bit? What is Literacy Pittsburgh? What is some of the work that you're doing, and why is it a necessary requirement for people in Pennsylvania to know who you are?
Sure. So Literacy Pittsburgh is a nonprofit organization that provides adult education, family literacy, and career services to eligible adults in the Pittsburgh area, specifically Allegheny and Beaver County. So that could be people coming to us because they want a GED, maybe they didn't finish high school, but also immigrant and refugee students coming to the area who need help with English. And as well as all of that education side, what I do with Workforce is look at ways that we can help people get into careers that can support themselves, can support their families. So that's one of the reasons that this partnership with the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania is so exciting, because we can really connect our students to meaningful career opportunities.
Thank you so much for that introduction, James. And coming to you, Ron, can you just talk a little bit about the Builders Guild and the work that you do there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania is a unique nonprofit labor management initiative. It represents 17 building trades, 9 affiliated general and specialty contractors associations, and the Pittsburgh Regional Building Trades Council. So the Builders Guild is a positive forum for labor management and community relationships, and it fosters a cooperative and productive climate for regional construction development. And under the Builders Guild is where the introduction to the construction trades pre-apprentice training program springs. With the affiliations that I just discussed, it made sense that we would work with the Builders Guild so that we could provide a labor-ready apprenticeship for a construction field, that for every 5 people or labormen that are retiring, we're getting only one person to backfill that log. So the labor industry, construction industry is really looking to fill that gap.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Sapp, is there anything that you would like to add?
You know, the thing about the Builders Guild, it is really unique because I've been in construction for over 40 years, and the unique thing about the Builders Guild is the management. It's the connection between labor and management, and that really helps in construction because there was a time where labor and management used to butt heads, but now they're united together and promoting construction. And it's at the perfect time because there is so much construction out there and so many large projects that it's really helping. It's really helping. And not only are they doing that, a lot of opportunities are being created because of the Builders Guild.
Perfect. And we know that the infrastructure bill has passed, and there's a lot of money and investment coming into construction infrastructure here in Pennsylvania. So you can just talk a little bit about how this partnership came to be and what is some of the things that you want people to know about this trade-up partnership. I'll start with you. We'll go in reverse order. You, Mr. Sapp, you, Ms. Barnett, and then you, Mr. James.
Okay, can you repeat the question real quick, please? I'm sorry.
How did this partnership come to be? And what are some of the takeaways you want people to know about what they can get from this partnership between Literacy Pittsburgh and the Builders Guild?
Well, Literacy Pittsburgh, we have an educational part in our program that Literacy Pittsburgh has been very helpful. Ms. Chaquita was going to go into a little bit, I guess, about our program, and when she speaks about our program, she's going to bring up especially the math part. And Literacy Pittsburgh has been very helpful in that area. We've been very successful because there's a testing process that you have to go through in some of these local unions, and you have to pass a test in some of them. And we've been excellent, especially in Intro to Construction. We've been very fortunate to have Literacy Pittsburgh to help us because they've been instrumental in helping us help the students pass the test in most of the trades.
And adding to that is that you need to have either a GED or a high school diploma for most, I would say, all of the trades. And that is one of the minimum requirements for going into the introduction to construction. And we found that through this, there are a lot of people who would qualify with the introduction to construction and move on into a skilled craft, but they did not have a high school diploma or a GED, which is where Mr. Nober is our executive director, and Carrie Harris out of the Literacy Pittsburgh started to talk about how do we take that particular marginalized population and how do we get them over that barrier? I mean, there are a lot of other barriers that we deal with, but that was the one that was actually turning a lot of people away, where they too could take advantage of the Introduction to Construction pre-apprentice program. And that's where we started working with how to make that work. James?
Yeah, I guess, first of all, thank you for the very kind words about what Literacy Pittsburgh does. I think we can certainly see the demand among our student population. Typically, they are really invested in their education. They're looking for work. What Chaquita said about barriers, I think we like to think of ourselves as being in the business of barrier removal for our students, and the GED in particular can be a barrier to a lot of our participants from entering employment. So one of the things that's really nice about TradeUp is that students who are enrolled in it, not only can they come here for free and get help with passing their GED to prepare them to be in intro to the construction trades, but they can also get paid a stipend for 10 hours a week while they're here learning. So there really is, we hope, a way for us to remove the barrier and incentivize what is a really excellent program and could be really beneficial to people.
And just to emphasize what was just said, with Literacy Pittsburgh, it is a free educational resource that not only is going to prepare you to take these tests, but it's going to give you a living stipend, just so you're able to have a little bit of reduced pressure as you're studying. Any student is going to talk about how stressed they are trying to enter a new career path. And so Literacy Pittsburgh, they're also essentially paying you to study and to pass the test. And I know we're going to hear from a student momentarily, but can y'all just talk a little bit about how the trades has impacted you personally, and it has allowed you to live and navigate your lives? I know we have order, but I'll start with you, Miss Barnett, then you, Mr. Sapp.
Well, I can say that I wish that when I was in high school, I would have been pushed more toward going into the trades versus going into college. There was a huge push to send students to college, and the trades were never really, talked about and looked at differently. And so now we're seeing that, college is not for everyone. And even like in my family, my son went to several different colleges, and we kept transferring, and he went through this program, and he did very well. He's a journeyman now, and he's getting called back to work, and he's making money. And we have a lot of students who come through who say, I'd rather do this and then go to college. So we've been doing a lot of career fairs. We've been talking to a lot of students. Pittsburgh Public Schools has a more emphasis on career technology, and so that we can talk, and we're talking to students even is in the middle school, and planting seeds to show them that, you can come out of school, go into an apprenticeship and make money versus coming out of college in 4 years and being heavily in debt. So we're giving them options. We're not saying don't go to college. We're saying these are options that you should look into to see if you would prefer to do this. And a lot of the trades now have programs on the weekends. They're really making an all-out effort to recruit. It's really being heavily recruited. So as far as my life is concerned, I see it as a ministry for me, that I love to see that the community and the students come in, we bond with them from the very beginning, they keep in touch, and then they come back and they talk to the other students and tell them how realistic this program really is. And after this, we're going to have a video that shows some of the students that have gone through the program. You gonna play the video, John?
I was approached with this opportunity to come into the union, and I jumped at it.
I would recommend a trade because I feel like trades can really push you forward in life.
What's attracting about it is like basically a trade is a skill. Like skills could pay the bills.
I wanted to make more money and be able to make sure that my kids are taken care of. Being
able to come here and have an opportunity to gain a career while also putting that money in your pocket, I won't never have to really worry.
Intro to trades is it gives us the ability to search for individuals that would play into our industry really well. They've been vetted, understand the importance of being on time, have a background, show up for class on time. We'll be moving through the program a little bit slow with the go in the first couple of years of apprenticeship. But once you get to journeyman, you can work for multiple different contractors. So it does provide a solid income to make a better life for yourself and your family.
I worked in the restaurant industry roughly 15 years, but the pay wasn't there. That's really what made me change it. I wanted to change the scenery. I wanted to do something different. I've been cooking for 15 years. You got to do something else if you're not moving up in the company.
I was working over 40 hours, but I was never seeing the money, that I would make here or that I would make somewhere where they're more organized or they have, benefit package and stuff like that.
I went to college, earned a degree, and I started working different part-time jobs, just trying to make ends meet. Being here in this trade and realizing that I could make just as good as a living, if not maybe even better, as a lot of people that went to school with, this is an opportunity that I absolutely just thought this would be great to do. The trade itself is something that each day is a day that you kind of grow into. The knowledge and the information isn't just in your mind, it comes into your hands as well.
The benefits of learning a trade is take it wherever you go. You can go to another state and do the same thing there and start building your life there.
I've been able to pick up things and learn things, because it's easier for me to learn with my hands. So the fact that this is all hands-on stuff, I can literally just pick it up and go. I enjoy every last bit of it.
I think it's always great to see people whose lives have impacted and see what type of work. Because I think sometimes people may say a trade is only this one type of skill or this one type, based on what somebody's uncle or grandma used to do. And so I think it's amazing to hear from these young people who've gone through the program and just to talk about what being in the trades means for them. And so I want to come to you, Ron, to ask you some couple of questions.
Can I just say on that just real quick before you move to another question? I'm sorry. But when I see that clip, it really does something to me because it brings back a lot of memories because that's where I was. That's how I started, and I had to make some decisions in my life, and getting into the trades happened to be one of the decisions I made. And I tell you what, it turned out to be a truly, truly blessing for me and my family because just like they were saying, the fair wages and you get into the trades and you actually learn a craft. And you can, one thing they didn't hit on was you can get not only the wage, but health and welfare assurance coverage, which is huge when you have a family, a pension plan and an annuity plan. All these things are things that you get when you get into a trade, and there's always room to move up. I was fortunate enough to get into the trades, get into the apprenticeship program, and then get into the union. I actually became a dispatcher, a business agent, and eventually worked my way into vice president of Local 66 operating engineers. Those are things that can happen when you get into the trades, and I tell you, it can happen, and it can happen pretty quick. So when I see videos like that, it really, really is encouraging to me, and it really brings back memories. I'm telling you, it really does. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off the track a little bit, but
No, you were right on track because that's what I wanted to ask about. So we're talking about the trades. You mentioned some of the benefits, the health insurance and the pension. What are some of the starting salaries that you've seen in the trades, and how does the process work? Do you go through the program? You graduate the apprenticeship? Is it a guaranteed job? How can you talk a little bit about those processes?
Okay, I'm gonna start with the last question about a guaranteed job. A lot of people ask that question: is it guaranteed? Okay, one thing about the trades is they do guarantee you an opportunity. Okay, it's what you make out of that opportunity. I've often said, as an agent, when I, had someone on a job site, we'll guarantee you that one day on the job, but it's what you do with that one day. The contractor is going to watch and see if you're going to work. They're going to see how you work, if you're going to be there, be on time. And of course, we always say, be there, be on time, and drug free. You have to do your part. That's one thing. If you do that, you will be able to get trained. You will learn the craft. This is one thing about the trades. This is not like a 9-to-5 job where you go into a factory every day or anything. You're learning a career, and there's a difference between a career and a job. You're going to actually learn a career. And if you and I've often said this to our students, if you do that part, the salaries and the fringe benefits come into play. For instance, you asked me how much to, on an entry level. A first-year apprentice, it differs between the different unions, the different apprenticeship programs. In my union in particular, Local 66 Operating Engineers, as a first-year apprentice, you can make, I believe the lowest is around $21 an hour, and then up to about $24 to $25 an hour on your first year. Now you earn while you learn. Now on top of that $21 an hour wage, there's a fringe package that you don't even see that the contractor pays into that may be another $11, $12, $13 an hour. So these are salaries, and every year you get a raise. Every year you get a raise when you're in the construction field, when you're in the union. So I know operating engineers right now, as journey people, are making around $37.09 plus a $11 or $12 fringe package. So this is what's going on in the trades. There's a lot of opportunity right now. It's a good living, and like I said, not only are the wages great, but the fringe packages are excellent.
Thank you so much for that. And coming to you, Ms. Barnett, as you're doing the introduction to the trades. Can you just talk a little bit about some of the requirements to enter to the trades? Because you're going to be some of the person that people see at the very beginning. Can you talk about some of the requirements and how long the trades program lasts?
Okay. The trades program is pre-apprentice. I want to say pre-apprentice. We get a lot of calls from people who say, I want to learn welding or I want to learn carpentry. And we don't specifically train for one trade. We are, again, the introduction to construction pre-apprentice program. So the expectations is that the outcomes, I should say, is that you have the expectations of what is needed on the job, what is required to retain the job, and the resources from personal and professional development to have you get along on the job. So the minimum requirements are a high school diploma or GED, again, which set the foundation for our partnership with Trade Up. You have to be at least 18 years of age or older. People ask us, well, I'm 45. Am I too old? No, you are not. We introduce you to the trades, and you decide if you're able to do it or not. But we don't have an age limit. Then you have to have a driver's license. That is one of the barriers that some people may have a GED. And it's funny that I've found folks who don't have the GED or high school diploma, but they have a driver's license and a personal vehicle. We do stress the personal vehicle because you have to be able to get to the jobs. Some of these jobs are on the highways, 279, or pipelines and places that they aren't on a bus line, and there's no Uber or Jitney or Lyft that can get you there on time and get you home, especially when some of the hours may be 12-hour days. So we want to make sure that the minimum requirements are there so that we set you up for success to be placed immediately following graduation. You have to be legally able to work in the United States as well, and drug-free is critical. We do a drug screen at the very end of our 120-hour program. So we tell the students at the very beginning of that 120 hours, at hour one, this is what's going to happen. If you do not pass the screen at the end of our course, we will not recommend nor try to place you because you won't get into the union. It's a zero tolerance, medical or otherwise. And we have had some folks who have failed, but have come back, which is great. And they've gotten clean and they've gotten second testing and they come up, clean, and we put them to work. So those are the minimum requirements with a little bit more extra for you. But that's how that works. We do online applications, or you can call us and we will call you back and we get that initial screening done. And then Mr. Sapp does an interview from there.
Thank you so much. I'm going to bring James into the conversation. Can you talk a little bit about how this trade up program works? The Builders Guild, they have the people come in, Ron's done the interview. How does the partnership work with Literacy Pittsburgh?
So the way the partnership works, if someone were to go out to the Builders Guild and state that they're interested in introduction to the construction trades, then there would be that initial check to see that they met the requirements. If it turns out that they don't have a GED or a high school diploma at that point, that's when they would be referred to us. So they would still be able to meet all of the other prerequisites. They would still be able to interview. They would be referred to us in order to work on their GED, and then they would have a spot open to them in the next cohort, providing that their GED was completed in time. And coming out to Literacy Pittsburgh, so it would involve taking a test with us also to kind of decide if people are ready. So we use a test called the TAPE, which isn't particularly important, but really what it shows us is how quickly somebody might be able to earn their GED. So we are careful to make sure that when we're selecting people for Trade Up, we're looking at people who have the ability to complete their GED in a timely manner. It's one of those things where there is no real time limit on the GED. Some people will be done very quickly. Some people will take a little bit longer. We don't really want to stand in the way of people who can be done sooner. So we are looking at those people who are closer to completion. And then, like I said, the incentive is there for them to be able to be working on their GED and working on introduction to construction trades at the same time.
Thank you so much for that. And Keaton, from your perspective, can you just talk about some of the benefits? I know you were saying that not only are you working with people who may not have had a high school diploma, but you're also working with people who have English as a second language. So you have this multicultural approach to educational attainment in this area. Can you just talk about some of the benefits? I know you mentioned the stipend already, but you just, for people who have just joined us, just retouch on some of the benefits of your GED program.
Well, I think one of the main things is people might come in looking to earn their GED or looking to improve their English, and they might kind of come to the end of that journey and then wonder, what now? What I really like about programs like Trade Up is that it gives people the opportunity to explore what they could be doing before they finish with the education aspect. So it gives them something to really work towards. And it's not just those who are looking to earn a GED or those looking to improve their English that we work with. It could be we have people who have a high school diploma, but maybe they are struggling with math in some aspect of their life where they need to improve. We actually run a math for the trades class for people who are looking to maybe get into an apprenticeship program or pre-apprenticeship program, but maybe they haven't been in a classroom in 10, 15, 20 years, and they really want to brush up on their math before they take that next step. We're here for that. And then also, we work with other existing apprenticeship programs. We get referrals from them. If they have participants who are struggling with math, we have them come here, work on their math. We really are just here to provide any kind of educational and career support that we can to anyone who needs it, really. And as you mentioned earlier in the show, there's no fees are attached to any of these services.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, again, amazing, wonderful information. And if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Literacy Pittsburgh and the Builders Guild of Southwestern Pennsylvania about this Trade Up partnership that they have created, which allows you to meet the educational requirements to start a career in the trades, and then has a program course for you so that you can become an apprentice to get approved to have a career in the trades, and again, to have one of these really great competitive jobs. And I'm going to come to you, Ms. Barnett, because this is what this is. You said your calling, your passion. Can you talk a little bit about the introduction to construction? What is the program? What does it cover? You talked a little bit about people calling in and saying, "Hey, I want to get a career in the trades," but can you just go through what that looks like, what that program is, and some of the topics that you cover in this introduction to construction program?
Well, let me start with saying that the program aim is to connect individuals of all backgrounds, including but not limited to those who are underserved, disadvantaged, underemployed, unemployed, and some underrepresented in the trades. We will see that now there is a really huge push for diversity and inclusion in the trades themselves. And even the trades have recognized that it's time, it's a new day and we need to start including more women. Right now, we have graduated In the last 6 years, over 300 individuals, and our percentage of women is only up to 16%. So we want to get more women. And so your question about, we have 120 hours, and in that we have 32 hours of construction math, of which Literacy Pittsburgh has always provided that for us. Literacy Pittsburgh also offers remedial if someone needs more math. We do another 24 hours of personal and professional development. We talk about sexual harassment. We have financial literacy. We work with Dollar Bank, who is another one of our partners who, again, free of charge, come in and do a financial workshop for those who have never had a checking account or those who have had checking accounts and find themselves unable to open another account. Because we know that the contractors do not necessarily pay by check anymore. A lot of it is electronic funds transfer. And if they don't have a checking account, then they're going to get a pay card. Or if they don't have a checking account and they get paid, they have to go to a Quick Cash or a Giant Eagle or a Walmart to get their checks cashed. So we want to get them stable, as well as how to save and how to not spend, because construction is seasonal. And in the winter times, then, they're going to go on unemployment compensation. So we want to make sure that they're not looking for that 60% of their salary, that they're starting to save some salary and not spend it all. What else we have? We go to sites. We go to the Joint Apprentice Training Centers where they get hands-on and they touch the equipment. They go to steam fitters. They get into the welding booths and they might decide, you know what, I can't handle the heat, so I'm not going to do that. Or we go to the iron workers and they say, I can't stand heights. This is not something that I want to do. And the biggest outtake from that is that a lot of students come in and they don't realize how many skilled trades there are in Western Pennsylvania. They may know electricians, carpenters, and bricklayers, but they don't know insulators and sheet metal workers and things of that nature. So if we can't visit a Joint Apprentice Training Center, then Mr. Sapp arranges for one of the other trades. They come in and talk to the students. They come right here, and I'm still in his thunder now, and that is that the trades have been 100% plus in support of introduction to the construction from the beginning. They don't charge us to bring our students out. They feed them sometime. They come in and talk to us, and they come and they recruit right out of the classroom. And not only do the trades recruit, but contractors have been coming to our classroom and hiring our students right on the spot. So those are the things that we do. And we use the NAB2, North America Building Trades Union. We use their curriculum. We are registered with the state of Pennsylvania. We are eligible training provider through Partner for Work. CareerLink is one of our partners as well. We also work with the First Source Center in the Hill District. You can go to their website also and apply. So we have a lot of areas and a lot of folks that come through, and we hear from that first screening, they do not have the GED, then we know right then and there we can talk to James and Literacy Pittsburgh.
And you talk, I just want to, just one more, just so people know, you talk about the application process. Is there a fee to do the introduction to the trades program? If so, what is it? And what is the application process like?
There is not a fee. We use a lot of WIOA funds through the state of Pennsylvania. And we also have private scholarships that are given as well. There's no cost to the student. As a matter of fact, we do $25 a day stipend for them. The application process, again, would be to either call us and we'll take your name and number and get back to you. Or you can go on to our website, www.buildersguild.org. And there's our hard hat logo, as you've seen today, and you can fill out the application. We just actually set up an Instagram account today with our assistant program director, Christina Linkus.
And so for those of you who are tuning in, This partnership between the Literacy Pittsburgh and the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania, this trade up introduction to the trades program, not only is it free for you to go through the program, they give you a stipend, they teach you a skill, they help match you with future employers, and you get to have real on the job training and experience to make sure the career you're training for is the right fit for you. And all you have to do is go to the website or a call, and they will get back to you. Again, this is an opportunity for people, if you don't have a GED, if you're someone who has, even a criminal conviction, and you're trying to change your life, if you're someone who needs a second chance, if you're even, there is no age limit. They're asking everyone to apply for these skills. And like Ms. Barnett was saying, there is a plethora, there's a multitude of careers from inside and outside that you can do to participate within the construction trade. So please, please, please make sure you're going to the website and signing up, because it's free. And also, you get the stipend to attend the program, and you also get the stipend as you're studying for your GED if you're someone who does not have a high school diploma. And coming to you, Mr. Sapp, I know Ms. Barnett said she was stealing a little bit of your thunder. Can you just talk about, from what you've seen in your experience with the trades, what type of careers can people have? I know in the video, one of the students was saying, you can go to different states, but can you just talk about the mobility that comes with a career in the trades and what you've seen, as president of your union, of how other trades has impacted people's lives, and why people should really look at the trades as a career?
Yeah, I was just Mr. Chaquita did steal my thunder a little bit, but one thing I did want to say is, do you have that tab where there's someone on the machine, the heavy equipment machine? Can you bring that up real quick? The rubber tire backhoe. Is that possible?
Which image?
Yeah, that's it. That's it exactly. I was just thinking about this. One thing about our program, we go to the different sites, but what I've seen is when we take these students to the different sites, we don't only go there, and just sit there and let people talk to them. We put them on equipment, like Ms. Chaquita said. We put them in the welding booths. They get an opportunity to see what that particular craft does. And the unique thing about this is they actually get to choose what craft they would like to participate in. That has helped so much because, for instance, the person you see on that backhoe, when they went out there on that track backhoe, they thought they wanted to be a carpenter. Okay, from the time they got into the program, they just knew they wanted to be a carpenter. Until they got on that backhoe and seen how to run that equipment, a light came on, and they said, "No, this is what I want to do." And they actually pursued it and got into the operating engineers and love what they're doing. If you love what you're doing and getting paid good wages and good fringe benefits, it's a win-win situation. The pathway to this, going to the apprenticeship site, we have the top of the line apprenticeship programs here in Western Pennsylvania. If you ever get a chance to go out to see some of these, these here, they're excellent. They're state of the art. We have the state of the art programs here. So they will teach you whatever craft that you want to get into, whether it's carpentry, electricians, operating engineers, steam fitters, painters. They will teach you to become that tradesperson, but it's up to you to do what you have to do. Once you get in, the demand is growing. There is a lot of work out right now, and there is, the opportunity. I've been in the unions over 40 years. I've never seen opportunities like it is right now. It is huge. So I would suggest you take advantage of it. If you even think that this is something that you would like to do, take advantage of it, because it could be done. Believe me, I'm telling you from experience.
And staying with you, because you're talking about, taking on these jobs.
Uh,
With your programs, are there any certifications that the students walk away with? If so, what are they? And to move on to advance, are there other certifications or trainings that individuals will need as they advance in their careers?
Absolutely. That's another plus of, getting into the unions, because there's a lot of certifications that you will actually get. And many of them you get as an apprentice, OSHA certifications, for instance, which is safety. Safety on the job is huge. Okay. People don't think about it, but safety is really huge. And that's one thing that the contractors and the unions themselves, they really strive, they really push safety. So you do get OSHA certified. There's all kind of certifications depending on what union you're in. For instance, the operating engineers, you get crane certifications and crane license. There's asbestos certifications in the laborers and scaffolding certifications, CDL certifications that you would get if you were in some of these different apprenticeship programs. So yes, and these certifications you can take with you anywhere. Anywhere. You don't have to just stay in Pennsylvania. You can go to Hawaii if you wanted to and use these same certifications. So, yeah, it is. There's a lot of good certifications you get out of these apprenticeship programs.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, and you talked about like safety. I met some people who work in the safety, and when people think about trades, you really don't think about the safety and the
Right.
ocean inspectors being a part of the trades, but
Mhm.
like all of that, is a part of the trade. So can you also talk about some of the administrative supports that go into the trades? Because people may say, you know what, I would love a career in the trades, but maybe I'm not physically able to be a roofer or physically able to be, an electrician. Can you talk about some of the other opportunities there are with the trades?
You mean within the administration?
Mhm.
As like I told you before, like even myself, I started in a union as an apprentice, and you can actually pick your way. You'll know what you can do, what you can do. For instance, as a carpenter, there's different types of carpenters. Okay, there's cabinet making, there's flooring. Everybody don't have to climb. Everybody don't have to use the hammer and nails. There's some carpenters never use a hammer and nail. Operating engineers. I know a lot of females get into the operating engineers because it's not physically, demanding. The machine is doing most of the work. You know what I mean? So you can pick and choose, your craft. That's what I love about our program too, because you have that opportunity to go around and see which each craft, do if you're on a work site, and you can pick that. And a lot of, tell you what, I am so proud of the females that are coming through our program. They are doing excellent. They have really, really, I mean, showed up and showed off. I'm telling you, they're really doing well and making a very, very good living also. So it's
Uh,
not just males, it's females also.
thank you so much
Add,
for
add
that.
to that, I'm sorry, I would like to
Go
add
ahead.
to that.
Go ahead.
Um, there are a lot of folks who maybe and go to OVR, for instance, or they have certain type of accommodations that are needed. And they would say, well, I can't be a laborer because I'm in a wheelchair or
Mhm.
because I have some other type of disability. And so Mr. Jeff and I were talking that when you say administrative capacities, you don't have to start out as an apprentice, but there are bookkeepers and the construction area. There are lawyers. There are IT people. The foreman used to walk around with, the legal pads. They walk around with iPads now. So
Mhm.
there are a lot of other, there's project estimators. There are a lot of other places that you can go from a career. I says one of our questions down the way. I'm kind of jumping the gun, but when you said administrative, not everyone in the union has to be on ground zero as an apprentice. There are a lot of other careers, and there are careers you can advance too from an apprentice perspective, but you don't have to start there if you want to go into construction.
Right.
Everything that they have in all the other industries, if you will, administratively, they will need in the construction arena as well.
Thank you so much for that. Because I think also a part of eliminating barriers is giving people the education to say, you know what, some of the thoughts that you had about the trades, it really isn't correct. And this is a career path for you. And coming to you, James, we're talking, Mr. Sapp has talked about, going to look at different sites and doing some of the trainings. Where does the programs that you offer, where is it physically located? Where are people coming through? Are they going on a computer? Are they coming to your office? If people want to get involved in the literacy Pittsburgh aspect of the program, where would they be going?
We try to be as flexible as possible, and especially with the pandemic, I think things have only gotten more flexible. So we have classes that happen in our downtown center. Those happen both in person and online. They happen at various different times throughout the day. And in addition to that, I think we serve about 5,000 students a year. And for a lot of those people, classes aren't necessarily the best for them. Maybe they don't fit their schedule. So we also have a big tutoring program. So we have around 500 tutors who also work either individually or in small groups with students. And again, those happen in various locations around the city of Pittsburgh, but then also a lot of those are held online now as well. So really, we do try to make sure that whatever is going to work best for you, we will try and provide you with. We know that a lot of people, we're here now sitting in front of our laptops doing this like this, but for a lot of people, they don't want to learn this way. It's not comfortable for them. And then for some people, they really need that flexibility. Maybe they're working multiple jobs. There are reasons for different approaches to learning, and we want to make sure that we accommodate everyone.
Thank you so much for that. And coming back to you, Ms. Barnett, you were talking about advancement earlier, and you mentioned that. Can you talk about what is the traditional longevity of a career in the trades? What is the trajectory that you have seen, particularly for people who said, college is not for everybody, and some of these or schools may say, you know what, this is the first time we're hearing about the trades or the program, and we want to share this to our students. For you, what have you seen that has made this to be your life's mission?
I think that I've seen the success and what success can do for those who are given the opportunity. Where much is known, much is required. And for, several of our earlier students, I've seen them come to our class and be, I don't really know what this is all about. I don't know what to expect, but let me try one more program. There are so many programs out there that people go to, but there's no outcome. They just kind of go and take up time. And so I have seen students, or participants, I would say, come through our program, and I get real emotional when I see that now they're standing in front of a home that says sold because they bought a house, or they're standing in front of a car that they've purchased. We had a student that in our very first class who said he'd spent 20 years in prison and he just had enough. And he was only in his 40s. So he went to prison in his 20s. This young man came out. He came to class every day. He was living in transitional housing. He took the electrician's apprenticeship, which is one of the most difficult of all the 17, and he passed. That was 5 years ago. He is now a journeyman, which is 5,000 hours on the job and in training. He has his own car. He's married. He has his own apartment. And those type of success stories keep me going. And it's like, if I can just help someone along the way to rise above, the status quo, then that's what moves me. And I think I could speak for Mr. Sapp as well. We consider ourselves, just very, very passionate about the community and those who are in need. And we're not just talking color. We're just talking marginalized. We're saying we've had maybe 15% of our graduates have been white people or people of color, not people of color, Hispanic background, and they do well as well. And they come in and we don't show any favoritism, and they get along really well with all the students. The students get friends. They exchange phone numbers, they keep in touch with each other, they encourage one another, and they're starting to meet each other on a job from different cohorts.
So I think that's amazing because not only are you building like avenues to success and economic freedom, but you're also creating, this multicultural community of people working together. And I just want to point out what you said about an individual coming home from incarceration, that this, skill set is for people who are trying to create second chances. So even if you have a criminal background, that is not going to be a barrier for you. There may be, some certifications or something's being delayed based on like your background, but this is still a career path for you. And so when you were talking earlier about people being forgotten or marginalized, to say, listen, this is anyone who wants to, change their career path, anyone who's been forgotten. We are welcoming to all. And I think that's so very important, as we're changing, in the city's environment for talking about the career path. And coming to you, Mr. Sapp, you have these different trades, you're doing this different program. You mentioned earlier about, a pension. Can you just talk about not only the benefits to a career in the trades, but what are some of the health risks involved, and how does being in the union protect people in those regards?
If you remember, I was telling you earlier about your OSHA training and your safety on the job site. One thing, being in the different crafts, being in the unions, is they are really strict about safety. They really are. And they teach you how to protect yourself on the job. For instance, when I worked on the field, I worked a lot of hazmat projects, okay? And one thing I did learn working hazmat projects is the unions taught us how to protect ourselves. You cannot depend on, the contractor all the time. You cannot depend on the workers around you all the time. But if you know how to protect yourself on a job, you're safe. Okay. If you put that in practice, you feel safe on the job. I worked on I tell you, it was one of the worst hazmat jobs in the area. It was called Maroon Lagoon. And the contractor didn't care about the employees. They put us in some positions that was not safe. But because of our training from the unions, we knew how to wear our protective gear that they gave us, and we knew what to look out for. So we were able to blow the whistle on that particular contractor, and they got into a lot of trouble. Okay, they no longer do union work. Matter of fact, they're out of business, and some people went to jail. But if we didn't know how to protect ourselves, our health would have been in danger. There were some people who didn't take it seriously, and they're no longer with us anymore. Believe me, because they didn't take the training serious. They thought it was a joke, but it's serious. It really is. And when you're on a job site, I've always told our members, look, I don't care what anybody says. If you think there's a situation not safe, don't do it. Don't do it. You have resources and you have representation who will come and they will fight the battle for you. That's a battle you won't have to fight by yourself. Believe me. That is a plus of, being in the union.
Thank you so much. I think that's very, very important for people to know. And again, this is like a lifelong, not only career, but a lifelong like education, information. I will say one of my family members is in the trades, and during the storms last year, we had, some issues, and they walked the property and they were marking like all the physical stuff that could be a issue because of their OSHA safety. So these are very practical, transferable skills that you can use not only on the job, but also, in real life. There's an additional plug for these programs. And so you have, your GED, you have your diploma, you're in these jobs. How have you been able to see people move, in Pennsylvania? You said there's a lot of competition right now. Do people bid on contracts? I know Ms. Barnett was saying the work is sometimes seasonal. Are they bidding on contracts, or if they in the union, are they placed in specific areas? Can you just talk a little bit more just about like that job placement? I know you said you get out what you put into it, but can you just talk a little bit about how that process works?
Me? Are you talking?
Yes, sir.
Fortunately, right now, the demand for construction workers is huge. Okay. Like I said, I've been in the construction field for over 40 years, and I have not seen it this demanding, believe me. There is a process that you go through. The workers themselves don't have to go through the process. It's the contractors who actually have to bid on the projects. They have to get the projects. They go to the union and get the employees to work on the job sites. And like I said, right now, our demand is huge for construction workers, especially union construction workers. In our area, this year, it's projected to be $4.5 billion worth of construction work going on this year. Last year was $4.2 billion worth of construction work. As you can see, it's moving up. The one problem is there's a lot of people that are starting to retire. For every retiree, for every person that we bring in, 4 people are retiring. So it's hard to keep up, but it's creating a lot of opportunity. It's creating a lot of opportunity for a lot of different people to come into the union, and people are starting to take advantage of it. And it's really good to see that. But like I said before, you don't have to worry about the bid process. The contractor itself will do that. They will do all the bidding. All you have to do is worry about get the skill training that we're offering, that the unions are offering you, and get on a site. And I'll tell you what, the sky's the limit. It really is right now. I am so excited what's happening in the Western Pennsylvania area. It's extremely great. I'm telling you, it really is. It's an exciting time to be in the construction field right now.
To echo that, I think if anyone has just driven around the city, in Pittsburgh, I know you, literally Pittsburgh, you're in Allegheny and in Beaver County, but I think you see the construction, whether it's the lead pipes being removed and replaced, whether it's new buildings, whether it's the street pavings. We've seen that, obviously we all saw what happened with the bridge, and not to cause, any more like trauma or triggers for anyone. But, that is a project that is going to be for the next couple of years, and is a long-term project because now we're going around and we're replacing, a lot of these bridges. And so what everyone is talking about is this career that has longevity. You have this program, it's free for you and it's to help you, but this is something that's, has longevity. And if when you're done in Pennsylvania, you say, it's too cold here, you can go to Hawaii, you can do Georgia, Texas, you can move around, and you can not only find out the career that is best for you, but the location that is best for you too, at a time where the trades are becoming more inclusive for people who have traditionally been left out. And so I think that's very, very important that we have that conversation. And to just talk a bit more as we're coming to a close, can you just talk about where you see the program going and why you think it's so important that people come and to get their GED and the educational support. James, just, we're in this, really robust global industry. And so you have these supports. Could you just talk a little bit about why it's so important that people reach out to Literacy Pittsburgh for educational support, if they don't have other high school diploma, or if they're trying to get better supports, whether it's around language access or more?
I think, looking beyond just the work that we do in partnership with the Builders Guild, the GED as a requirement for so many jobs, I don't think that's going anywhere soon. I know that a lot of people have trepidation about coming back to school, especially if they've not been in school for a long time, or if they had bad experiences with school in the past. We get all of that. But I think, I don't have the information with me now, but research has shown that there are few things that can increase your earning power as much as going from not having that high school credential to having it. So there are just so many other opportunities that will become open to you once you get your foot through that door, once you have the GED. You can really start looking at all of the different opportunities that can exist for you. And like you said, we're not just here for people seeking their GED. We're here for people looking to improve their English. We're here for anyone who just feels like they need a little bit of help, working on reading, working on math, any of that we can do. And so I would encourage anyone, our website is out there. I think it's been included a few times during this live session. There are so many different things that we offer. So it's worthwhile reaching out to us, because even if you're looking for something that we don't personally do, it's highly likely that someone here knows who to refer you to.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'm coming to you, Mr. Sapp, because you are in one of the unions, and you said you're the president. For people who are maybe like in the trades, they may have had a career, and may have left and come back. Can you talk a bit? Because you said right now this is the time to be in the trades. Can you talk about how people can get back involved into the trades and how they can reach out to the unions for support?
There's different ways. If you've been in the trades and you left the trades for some reason, and some of the trades that you could actually go back and be reinstated. Okay, sometimes it's with a fee, or but right now, in the times we're in right now, like I said, the work situation is so great. It's not too hard. I'm telling you, especially if you've been in the trade, and you have that experience, and you have that skill. They're looking for that skill right now. I was just, looking over some of the work that's coming in our area, has already started. And just in the Oakland area alone, UPMC is starting that new hospital this year. That's going to be huge. Pitt is doing a lot of construction work. CMU, that's just in the Oakland area. The Lower Hill just started a project down there, and that's going to be huge. Over $1 billion worth of work there. That FMD building started. I tell you, that's big. And everybody know about the airport project. That's $1.4 billion project that has already started. That's a huge project. These are large projects and long-term projects that are starting in the area. So if you have been in a union and you do have a skill, or you want to be in a trade, or even if you want to get into another union, the time is right now. Elkasan, for instance, they have a 10-year plan that they're getting ready to start a project there, and they're going to be spending $2 billion right there at Elkasan. And what's good about this is these are all project labor agreements. And what that means is these are all union projects, okay? You don't have to worry about the non-union on these projects. These are union projects. So you have an opportunity to get into the unions, get into these trades, get into these apprenticeship programs. Now is the time. Believe me, it really is. It really is. It's great. It really is.
Thank you so much for that. And we're about to wrap in a few. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'm coming to you, Ms. Barnett. You said that around 16% of your graduates were women, I believe you were saying. Can you just talk a little bit more about how these careers are just for everyone again, and that this is now is the time. Mr. Steps, now is the time to get involved. But again, a part of the work that you all are doing is intentionally recruiting people who have traditionally been left out of the trades. Can you just talk a little bit about your expansion and why it's so important for people to get involved into the trades?
Trades, right. Like, again, we have so many marginalized target populations, underserved, underrepresented, unemployed, you say colorful backgrounds. There are a lot of, these are folks who want to work, and they should be able to take advantage of these jobs where they can make a sustainable wage. We're fighting to get the minimum wage increased, and that is not an issue with the skilled trades, because as Mr. Sapp mentioned, the labor agreements and how the trades have a certain amount of money they have to make plus the benefits. You can make money, but not have the benefits. They want more women. Again, they want to diversify the workforce, and be inclusive as well. So diversity and inclusivity are top priorities for the construction industry, not just the trades, but also the contractors. The contractors are under pressure, if you will, to include these particular target populations where they've seen over the years they have been overlooked. So even with some of the contracts that come out of the state, or some of the large contractors like PJ Dick, they are looking for the diversity, the minorities, and the women, and people of color, people who have colorful backgrounds. They want to show that they are not being just favoritism to one particular ethnic group. So we're always trying to get women out, and women have a lot of different more barriers than men in some cases, where it comes to childcare. But there are some single fathers out there that face the same. If they're going to be working 10-hour days, one of the things you won't see is them saying, well, because you're a woman and you have kids, you only can work 8 hours. No, you have to take the whole package. So those are some of the things that we're working through, and we just want to keep on going. We like 16% is not a lot, but we've had some very successful women that have come through our program that are doing very, very well.
Yes.
So I'm sorry.
Oh, he was agreeing with you.
I was just looking at the interest of time. We could, Mr. Sapp and I and James could talk on and on and on about, the importance of our partnership, the importance of getting that one group that we so often say, you have a GED, and they say no. We will be interviewing with them, so that if we have a client or a person who wants to go into the trades and needs a GED, as James said, we make that selection together. So that person doesn't have to go through the interview process again or anything. They just have intro to construction to look forward to once that GED. I mean, it'll be a guarantee into our program, and then we can guarantee them to work. So they have that incentive to join that. Again, at no cost to them, just their commitment and their time. Commitment is hard sometimes, but you have to be here. You just can't say, I'll be here today, I'll be off today, 2 more days. And we expect 95% attendance.
Mm-hmm.
When people don't come, you miss something because we don't review. It's just very intense.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. I think it's very important. Again, this is the introduction to the construction trades. It's a trade up program between Literacy Pittsburgh and the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania. And this is, in-person training to help you get a new career path, so that they'll support you, they give you stipends, but you have to be able to come through, and communicate. They're aware of a lot of the barriers that have prevented people from joining in the past, and they're working with resources to help alleviate those, which is why you have the GED program partnership, and they're expanding. So if you're watching this, you say, I want to get involved. I want to, I want a new career. Please reach out. If you're someone who says, oh my gosh, I have a daycare center and I would like to provide like daycare to the students, please reach out to them. They're here really trying to make a difference. And so as we wrap up, can each of you just talk about one takeaway you would like for people to have about the career in the trades or your work? I'll go in the order that we started. Mr. James, Chaquita, and Mr. Ron. Thank you so much.
I think that the one thing I would say that applies to everything we do here at Literacy Pittsburgh, and also to our partnership with the Builders Guild, is that it is never too late to learn something new. You have, multiple opportunities in life to change things, to go back and look at things that you have done or haven't done and wanted to do differently. And, there's no reason to put off doing something that could be so beneficial. So, no matter what circumstances you're in, if the GED is something that you need, if construction is a field that you would love to be in, then we are here to help.
I would say that the status quo is not okay. You don't have to do the same thing over and over and over again just because you don't feel you have any place else to go. You need to step out and step up. Give us a call. It's called Introduction to the Construction Trades. It doesn't say that you have to go in, but at least you can make a decision on if it is for you or not. You're going to be committed to any job that you have. So why not make it construction? Give us a call. Go online, 412-668-2597 or buildersguild.org and click the yellow hard hat and put your application in, and we will be sure to get back to you. And if you leave us a message, please let it be clear, speak clearly, your name, your phone number, and your email address. Thank you.
I just want to say, you hear of a lot of different programs out there, and some of them have to do with construction. But if you notice one thing while we were talking, one of the things that was said during this time is the word guarantee. Okay. We guarantee through the Builders Guild, if you complete our program, that we're going to get you into one of the unions. And the reason why we're able to do that is because of what I was saying earlier. There is so much work out there. There's a huge demand for skilled workers right now. But it's a part that you have to play. And that is, if you get into our program, you're going to have to be here, be on time, and be drug-free. We can do the rest. We can teach you how to get in. The unions will teach you how to, whatever trade you pick, be an operator, be an electrician, be a carpenter. They're very good at doing that. But there's a part that you have to play. And if you do, the rewards are great. Like I said, more than fair wages. You'll be working in safe working conditions on the job site. And the fringe benefits are huge. They really are. Pension plan and annuities. You don't have to work all your life, believe me. So now's the time. It really is. If you want to get in, the opportunity is there. It's up to you to take advantage of that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much to James, Chaquita, and Ron for being with us this afternoon for Community Spotlight. As a reminder, if you tuned in later, you're just tuning in, Literacy Pittsburgh and the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania have combined to create a partnership for this trade up program. This program not only provides minimal educational support to make sure you're able to get a GED or educational attainment, as well as on the job training as an apprentice, so that you're able to have a long-term career in the trades. Listen, they're going to pay you to come to work up to $25 a day. Sometimes, on site visits, food will be provided. What you have to do is show up for class. And you have to maintain a sobriety during the program. There is, we're talking about, there is grace given. So you do have a chance to retest if you are not able to have a clean test the first go around. There is opportunity for you for advancement. You can get certifications, and then you can travel anywhere, domestically for some of these jobs. Mr. Sapp said there's over $5 billion of investment happening right now within the construction trades. And we know that there is so much more to come. Ms. Barnett talked about the changing in diversity and people coming in, but also the fact that, if you're someone with a criminal conviction, a colorful background, you're still able to participate in this this career path. Even if you're someone who is in their second or third career, this is still an opportunity for you to come and to get a skill set and, like she said, a living wage with benefits and pensions and health insurance, like for you and your family. As James was talking about Literacy Pittsburgh, not only do you have an opportunity to obtain your GED, but you also have the opportunity to have educational support and development. And if you're someone who has English as a second language, you're also able to have additional supports to make sure you're not only passing the GED, but able to develop education that's going to make you more competitive in this field. And so we want all of you, if you're thinking about, a career change, if you have a loved one who's looking for employment, to consider a job in the trades, to reach out. All you have to do is go to the website or call the number, and they'll follow up with you. Again, this is just an opportunity that's at no cost to you. It's being supported not only through a nonprofit, but development funds, so that you have this opportunity to enjoy this career that has traditionally been shut out to a lot of folks. And so breaking down these barriers is one of the reasons why we have these community spotlights. So thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Miracle Jones. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please, please, please remember to go to the website, sign up today. Have a good one.